Hi everyone, welcome back to the Put Yourself First podcast. In today's episode, we are talking about manifesting your goals using the power of mindset. And because we are now in June, because June officially marks the halfway point of the year, I really wanted to share this episode with you so that we can tackle and identify some blocks that you might be experiencing right now. If you are reaching the halfway point of the year and you are not where you want to be with your goals. Now, I really get and see that a lot of women are struggling with their goals, struggling to move forward, wanting to create change in their lives, wanting to manifest things, but no matter how hard they try, they can't seem to gain momentum. And this episode is especially for you if you feel like, oh shit, it is June. We are halfway through the year. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to have truth bombs or light bulb moments, maybe even mindset breakthroughs by the end of this episode to really see like how magical your mindset can be to unlock manifestation in your life, and maybe even shine a light on any areas where you might have been struggling, you might currently be struggling in, and right now you might be telling yourself any one of the following things. You might be telling yourself that you haven't achieved your goals because you are lazy, or you procrastinate, or you never follow through with things. You might be telling yourself you need to work harder, or you need to work longer, you need to do more. You might be telling yourself you haven't found the right strategy or the right method or tool. And that could relate to any goal. That could be like, I haven't found the right workout routine. I haven't found the right method or like the right diet to eat. I haven't found the right strategy to use in my business. I haven't found the right dating app. They all don't work. So you might be thinking that the external factors are to blame, or you've not found the right thing for you yet, and that's why you're not moving forward. You might be telling yourself that something is outside of your control, and so why should you bother? You might be saying it's the economy, or my industry is saturated, or dating apps are rubbish, there's no good men. Think of another goal, Kat. What about self-care? Everyone is always demanding things of me, so I never can make time for myself, so what's the point? And I just want you to know that if you're feeling flat, if you resonate with any one of those things that I'm saying, or like if you're just being real with yourself and you're reaching this point of the year and thinking, I want to switch things up, I want to hold myself accountable, I want to make progress, I want to take action, I want to move forward, then this episode is for you. Before we dive in, I do want to let you know that the doors to the membership, the Put Yourself First Sisterhood, are open for June, and some of the things I'm going to be referencing in this episode are really going to support you in the membership if you are struggling with the things that we're discussing today. So just a heads up with that, the link is in the show notes as always, and doors close on the 3rd of July. And I would just say, imagine where you could be by the end of summer if you dedicated the next 3 months, 6 months even, to yourself. Imagine where you could be by the end of 2023, especially as we tackle some of these blocks and maybe give you a shift and a breakthrough and a reframe today to then have the support to move forward. So you deserve that. You deserve to manifest your dream life. That is why I do what I do. And I want to chat about mindset. Mindset being a huge key and like the bread to the butter. Is that even a good term? The yin to the yang with manifestation. Mindset and manifestation go together like a dream match come true. And when you unlock and unblock some of these mindset things, you are going to see shifts in your life. So let's dive in. So if you resonated with anything I just shared, feeling flat about where you're at right now, wishing that you could make time for your goals, maybe even get into a Friday night and looking at what you really wanted to do this week. You really wanted to go to the gym, or you really wanted to take action on that business idea, or you really wanted to start an Instagram account. You really wanted to sit down and do some writing. You really wanted to meditate every day. Whatever it is that you right now know that if you could achieve that goal, that you would be one step further to manifesting your dream life. If that is where you're at right now, these might be some of the blocks that you are currently experiencing, because these are really common things I see. So the first block is taking all that stuff that we were talking about before. You know, I should be working harder. I shouldn't be lazy. I should try something new. I should figure out what's gonna, figure out the best strategy. I should wait until the timing is right. I should get off this app and find a new one. I should be trying this instead. And even if we go one step further and look at like your goals from a progress point of view, you might be telling yourself, it should be working by now. I should be here by now. I should be at this point right now. Should. And the word should, that chatter inside your head, which is, by the way, mindset, to me that feels within my body in a certain way. And I want you to even reflect right now on, if you've had that voice recently, what does that feel like? What does that should feel like within your body? Because to me, it feels like pressure. Right now, you may very well be putting a shit ton of pressure on yourself, pressure on your goals, pressure on your manifestations. And I want you to picture where you are right now, this point in your life, this stage of your life, as a level that you're at. And I did a podcast episode on manifestation is like a video game, and it's simply working at the level you're at so that you can reach the next level. And so with manifesting your goals, you are aiming to level up. You are aiming to step up, to climb, to rise into the next level. And remembering that feeling of pressure that you put on yourself, it's almost like you are doing everything you can, or you feel like you're doing everything you can to move forward and to climb up and to rise up into the next level. But all the while, this pressure is just compressing down. It's like, for me, pressure feels like pressure and weight on my shoulders. Like I am forcing myself. And so the energy is like you're trying to evolve, you're trying to rise, you're trying to move forward, you're trying to level up, but you can't because there's so much pressure on yourself, there's so much pressure on this goal that you are just shooting yourself down and pushing yourself back down. Almost like a solid in a container. Like if you put, let's think of something really weird. If you had like, I don't know, Play-Doh, or what's the other thing that I always see on TikTok? You know, like the slime you see that kids make, that always looks so like sensory and like I want to grab it. It's like a big bucket of that. Imagine taking a bucket of that and placing a smaller lid inside it and just pressing down and putting bricks and weight on top of it so that it pressurizes the container and it pushes that substance down. That is what is happening with your goals, with your energy, with your motivation, with your mindset when you are just putting pressure on yourself, when you are shudding all over yourself. And you think that the pressure is somehow motivating or is just going to force you to do it. But it's actually keeping you stuck because it keeps you where you're at, because it reminds you that you're where you're at. If I'm stressing over where I want to be, I am putting even more distance between where I am now and where I want to be. Because I am essentially making where I am now wrong and bad and shoulding all over it. I should be further along right now. I shouldn't be so lazy and then I would be further along. And that isn't working. And the other aspect of pressure and should is shame. So many women I speak to, and just ambitious women, ambitious people in general, can often fall into the trap of thinking that having a go at yourself or just relying on discipline, forcing yourself. One of my clients says, I just need a kick up the arse. Like, I just need someone to come and give me a kick up the arse. We think that is going to propel you forward. And it might for a while. It very well might. But only through pressure, shame, and fear. Imagine a toddler having a tantrum, because so much of your mindset comes from your childhood fears and upbringing. Imagine a toddler having a tantrum and screaming at that toddler and grabbing them by the shoulders and shaking them and saying, will you just shut up and get on with it because you need to do this? And the toddler might stop crying and force themselves to swallow that emotion to do what you are asking them, forcing them to do in that moment. And they do that because they're scared, because they are trying to stop your reaction. Children change their behavior to avoid conflicts in those kinds of situations. And so, don't get me wrong, fear and shame, momentarily, short term, may very well get you to move forward. But is that sustainable? Is that genuinely how you want to be making progress in your life with your goals? Just constantly having a go at yourself or being shitty to yourself? Is that actually going to change the behavior that you no longer want to see long term? Or is there another way? Because if a toddler is having a tantrum, we actually could speak to the toddler in a calm voice. We could encourage them we could give them space to share what they are scared of or how they are feeling, and maybe even identify why they are behaving that way in the first place, to help them change that behaviour. This is why mindset work is so integral to moving forward with your goals, because you think that you may think that you can force yourself to change your behaviour, force yourself to stop procrastination, or force yourself to go to the gym, force yourself to show up in your business, whatever it is. But mindset work is a way more long-term, sustainable and loving approach. Because with mindset work, what we're doing is we're understanding. It's the energy of that kind, calm parent sitting down and saying, what is going on? What is going on? And maybe you've had this with other people in your life. I've had it before where I've been in a mood and I've been, like being snappy and projecting, and Adam's gone, what's actually going on here? Like, what's actually going on? Because the surface level behaviour is created by something underlying. And so with mindset work, you are learning to sit down and ask yourself, what's going on, babe? Come on, tell me. What are you scared of? What's really happening here? What are you afraid is going to happen if you achieve this goal? How can I support you with that? And one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself in this lifetime is self-awareness. Because one of the biggest shifts the sisterhood members share with me is that being inside of this membership has created so many breakthroughs, so many light bulb moments for them in knowing themselves. Knowing yourself and having that self-awareness is one huge stepping stone to get you started. And it's understanding those behaviours to go, okay, so that's why I'm not moving forward. And imagine how much more clarity and how much less pressure you could put on yourself if you have that. And so it's removing that feeling of pressure from your shoulders so that you can elevate, so that you can climb up into that next level. And the next mindset block I want to chat to you about is action first and mindset later. So just do it and then I'll work on my mindset later. And don't get me wrong, action is required, but we'll get on to that. So I always illustrate this point with a common goal that the majority of people have had, which is fitness. We've all at one point or another thought, I want to go to the gym more, or I want to feel fitter or feel healthier, move my body more, maybe go on more walks, or maybe you sign up for some sort of challenge. We've all had that goal at one point or another. And whenever I ask this question, I always get the same answers. What is the number one thing that you would start with if you wanted to get fitter? You would join a gym. Maybe you'd download a workout app, buy some new gym clothes, make a workout plan, schedule the workout in your calendar. All action steps, right? All behavior-based things. But nobody, or I should say, most people don't take the time to think, how can I become a fit person? What do I need to believe about myself in order to achieve this goal of fitness? What does this goal require from me? Who am I being when I am fitter? Who is that version of me that I am consciously stepping into? In my beliefs, in my identity, in my energy, and yes, in my actions. Most people focus purely on the action steps and the plan. And that's why we go to the gym for a few weeks and then we fall off and then we give up. Because you think that action is just gonna fix it and just gonna allow you to move forward. That just do it mindset. And you think also that having the best plan and the best plan of action is going to be enough on its own. But you don't stop to think around mindset, beliefs, identity, work with that goal. And I have a really powerful reminder here that I'm about to share. And that is, part of you does not want you to achieve your goal. Part of you has fears, beliefs, maybe even a whole identity that is in direct opposition to that goal. And those parts make up your unconscious mind, which is 95% of you. And so the part that wants to plan and wants to go to the gym and take action is the 5%, which is the conscious mind, the front part of the brain, the logical thinking mind. And so 95%, 5%. Imagine someone in a boxing ring with 95% strength and power, battling, like boxing with someone with 5% power and strength and agility and all of those other things. Who is going to win? Who is going to win in that fight? Definitely the person with 95%, right? And so this is why right now you might be battling with yourself and battling with self-sabotage or procrastination or putting things off, not taking action even. Your mindset wins out over the best plan of action every single time. When your mindset is not in alignment with that plan. And the reason we do mindset work is so your mindset can be in alignment with that plan of action, so that taking action can take place. And I'll share a personal example of this. I used to, for years and years, want to get fit, want to get back to the weight and the fitness level and whatever as my younger self. I think so many women go through that in their 20s, and the irony is, like, I'm almost 30 and I could not give less of a F what I weigh, and I'm probably the fittest, well, I am the fittest and strongest I've ever been in my life. Irony. Now I'm being kinder to myself. The irony is I'm fitter than ever. There we go. But throughout, like, let's say my late 20s, I was definitely here when I was, say, 27. I really, really wanted to get fit. I wanted to go to the gym more. I wanted to lose a bit of weight, blah, 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 blah. But I used to tell myself, I'm not a gym girl. I'm never going to be a girl who loves the gym and just goes all the time and only ever eats healthy food and blah, 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 blah. And so with that 95% and that 5% in mind, do you think I manifested my goal of being fitter? Did I? Fuck. Quite the opposite. I continued to stay in an overeating and restricting cycle because the self-sabotage always kicks back in, because it always wanted to maintain that identity that I had about myself. So no matter how much, how big a plan of action I had, I could have been a member of the best gym in the world, or had the best fitness plan in the world, or whatever, and I still would have self-sabotaged. And that is the part of us that fuels procrastination, fears, self-sabotage, doubt, overwhelm. The list goes on. And that is the part that is leading us to not follow through with your goals and take action. And of course, it's not impossible, because there are many times where we can do it scared. There are many times where we can do it scared and we can take an action. And you'll hear me say that because sometimes in life we need that push. Sometimes that nudge is helpful and is loving. And all the while we are doing that, getting outside of our comfort zone or doing things that, go against our mindset blocks or whatever the case may be, we are working on our mindset. So that having that mindset work on board, having that ticking over in the background, taking those action steps feels a hell of a lot easier, because you're supporting yourself through it. So let's talk about how to move forward then, and how to basically take these 2 blocks, which is, to recap, putting tons of pressure on yourself and the goal, and focusing all your energy on the actions you should be taking rather than your beliefs, your energy, your identity, your beliefs, your values, all of that unconscious stuff. Let's flip it on its head. So with that first point on the pressure, and with that toddler analogy, I want you to imagine being a really soft, loving, encouraging parent to that toddler, and holding out your hand and saying, come on, you can do this. I love you. I accept you. I support you. And thinking about, for example, when a toddler is learning to walk, when a baby is learning to walk, the parent is letting them take those steps whilst cheering them on. And that's the energy of moving forward, of gaining momentum. It feels more fun, it feels more encouraging to be learning, to be growing, to be leveling up, because instead of being scared of this pressure and this should and this shame, you're actually being kind to yourself and encouraging yourself. And this is what the sisterhood is all about. I want to highlight a few things that are going to be a massive game changer for you. The framework of manifesting your goals. We have monthly calls where we review your goals, and also your weekly check-in, which is so game changing on its own. It's the most simple 20-minute PDF guide that you would get access to as soon as you join. And the energy of these calls and this check-in and the framework of setting your goals is the energy of celebration and of encouragement, of feeling like I can do this. I have got this. I have come so far. I am so proud of myself. Imagine how much further along you could be in a few months if instead of saying, I should be here by now, I should try harder, I should work more. Imagine the difference in you when you instead say, I'm doing my best, I've got this, I am moving along, I am so proud of myself, keep going. And yes, therefore, these are the action steps I'm going to take. Because the action steps can happen when we've got that mindset dialed in. So not only are you celebrating yourself within the Manifest Your Goals framework, but you are also being celebrated by others within the membership, which is quite magic. You are being celebrated on the calls. You are being cheered on by me and all the other members. And the energy on the calls is like magical, just magical. And so, like I said, that weekly check-in alone is like in your back pocket as a self-coaching, goal-setting tool to boost your mindset, to boost your confidence with your goals, boost your confidence with manifestation, but also help you plan out your next week. Like I said, we do both. It's still good to plan. It's still good to, you need to take action alongside the mindset work. So that, I would say, is like the number one thing that is a favourite amongst members, the goal setting element of the membership. And you get instant access to get started with that when you join. Now, instead of pressuring yourself, instead of forcing yourself, instead of making yourself feel shit, you're actually getting excited about your future. You're cheering yourself on as you move forward. And you're also connecting with your future. So you're connecting with a future version of you who is like, come on girl, you can do it. Keep going. Remembering that, like, putting the pressure and pushing yourself down as you're trying to level up. This is like your future self holding out her hand, reaching down, sending you a ladder and going, come on girl, like, climb on up, you can do it. I can help you. Such a different energy. And that makes taking action a hell of a lot easier. And you will be so much further along in a few months from doing that. Especially as well, speaking of action, like when we have the framework, when we have the structure, the accountability of the monthly calls, like all of that is so important. So that's the goal setting piece. And I want to talk about the manifestation stuff. And really that second block around focusing on taking action rather than the inner work, the inner world. We really need to focus on that. So I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel confident. I want you to feel like you are fully on board with your dream life. And in order to do that, who you are being is more important than what you are doing. And in order to do what you need to do, you first need to be who you need to be. It's not, well, once I've achieved this goal, then I'll be confident. Then I'll believe in myself. You've tried that and it's not working. It's causing self-sabotage and procrastination, or inner critic, putting pressure on yourself, all these things that you're struggling with. And so try it my way. Try it this way. I believe in myself. I accept myself. I love myself. I work on myself. And therefore, I take action. Therefore, I manifest my goals. The reason I manifest my goals is because I am a magnetic match for them. And so, of course, I take action. Going back to that fitness analogy, of course I go to the gym because I see myself as someone who is worthy of being healthy. A fitness is an act of self-love. Therefore, of course I do. You may have heard the phrase be, do, have. What you might be doing right now is do, have, be. I'm going to take action and then I'm going to get the goal and then I'll be that person. Be that person, become that person, step into that person through this work so that the action falls into place, so the manifestation is magnetic. And when it comes to that being, the mindset, the beliefs, the fears, the doubts, the confidence, the list goes on. The sisterhood has 3+ years of workshops on topics from inner child healing, self-sabotage, confidence, financial, money mindset, manifestation. We've done an EFT healing month this month. Boundaries, there is so much in there. And I've been running this membership for 3 years now, and it just gets better and better. It really does. And so some of the recent calls that we've had, just to name a few, this month we've done an advanced EFT for healing, and talking about mindset blocks. You can bring a mindset block to one of these this call, and you can get the replay as soon as you join and clear it in that call. Amazing stuff. Emotional release breath work we did a few months ago, and that was insane. Incredible breakthrough moments. And we've also recently done a boundaries and communication group coaching, again, game changer. And that's just to name a few. I'd be here all day if I was listing off all the topics. So this is the depth of the inner work that is available for you, that is going to help you, guide you forward in this being, in the believing, in the feeling, in the thinking, in that 95%, so that 5% of that action and that goal setting, along with the call, manifest your goals calls, the framework, the accountability, falls into place. This is not your average membership. This is deep. And I was thinking, as I was writing my notes for this podcast, you can consider me your coach if you are a sisterhood member. And I say that because I know the relationship I have with my members, especially those who've been in the membership for 6 months, a year, multiple years at this point, they DM me and they're like, this has changed my whole life. They DM me after a call to say, wow, thank you so much, massive breakthrough. I've never been able to have awareness of this, and it just clicked. And this is insane, insane depth of growth and of healing that's available for you inside the sisterhood for less than £1.50 a day, for £44 a month. And so I want you to imagine that energy of that future self reaching down and giving you a hand and saying, come on girl, you can do this, you can level up. That is the energy of this membership, this sisterhood, both from me, from the content, and also from the other members too who are cheering you on. And I want to finish here by sharing a beautiful DM I got earlier in the year from one of my long-standing sisterhood members, Lucy. So she wanted me to share this testimonial. Another testimonial because this program genuinely changed my life, and I urge anyone on the fence to make this investment. In the years since I became a sister, I have manifested buying a home on my own and the cash to pay for it to be fully decorated and furnished, all in under a year. I found my dream man. I've been promoted twice and have never earned so much money. All of the shiny manifestations are amazing, but the biggest shifts that I value the most are the changes to my mindset. I now value myself so much more. My boundaries are stronger, and my confidence in myself has skyrocketed. I treat myself like a queen, and the sparkly manifestations are the results. So the 2023 vision board is done. The goals this year are massive, and I'm already loving the process of them rolling in. The sisterhood is cheaper than my monthly gym membership. It's an absolute no-brainer. Thank you so much for this container, Kat. And I just want you to imagine where you could be in 3 months' time, in 6 months' time, in a year's time, if you dive in and join us. So thank you, Lucy, for sharing your testimonial. If you're listening, I really appreciate you. I am cheering you on, and I'm so excited for everything you've done so far this year and everything that's to come. And thank you everyone for listening. If you have any questions about the sisterhood, if you're on the fence, or if you're simply ready to dive in, check out the links in the show notes because you can sign up. There's tons of info on the sign up page, FAQs, all that stuff. And I'll also link my Instagram below if you want to reach out and say, is this included? Have you covered this topic? I'm struggling with this right now. Could it support me? Please just DM me with any questions and I'll make sure to get back to you so that you don't miss out before the doors close on the 3rd of July. So I will speak to you very soon, and I'll see you on my next podcast.